everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. For the video today, I am back with a daily vlog. After quite a long hiatus, I basically took off Christmas and New Year's just to relax and enjoy my time. I did originally plan to film, but time escaped me and I've now found that it's been since November since I've done a video, but I woke up today and wanted to get back into it. As you would have seen so far today, I've just had breakfast and gone on a nice long bush walk with the dogs and Bren, and now I'm back home. I am planning to do a few things around the house today. I can see the battery I put in my camera is already starting to die, so we're not off to a great start, but I just wanted to say hi. And what I'm going to do is actually bring you to the kitchen with me so I can prep some food and take you throughout my day. So I just got these out of the fridge. These are my pre-rolled arancini. I made risotto the other day and it's got mushroom, tofu and leek in it. Not authentic or anything, just vegan risotto and kind of protein rich since it's got the tofu crumbled in throughout. That's why it doesn't look like it's too much rice, if that makes sense. So it looks different, but I've made these before and I've made arancini before the next day since I think it's a lot nicer than leftover risotto. But that's what we're going to do, and I just thought I would chat about what I've been up to since my last video. I'm just going to coat them in flour, soy milk, and then breadcrumbs. Alright, we're set up with this little cooking show. I really hope you can see everything since I've got the actual screen of the phone faced away so that I have the right camera for this. You don't care. Anyway, I have pre-rolled them, obviously, and I'm just going to go and start coating. And actually, while I think of it, I set this out and forgot. I'm going to use gloves. I know they're like soft plastic and not reusable. I really need to think of a better way to do this, but I do have long nails and I don't want to get food under them. So I pretty much always use gloves when I make, crumbed food, falafels, stuff like that, unless my nails are short. Where was I? I think I mentioned before my last video was in November, and at the time I was just showing the Christmas stuff in Kmart. So that was the last video. I had fully intended to do stuff in the lead up to Christmas, like decorating and just maybe even a gift guide. For years now I've thought I've wanted to do a vegan cruelty-free gift guide since I feel like I haven't seen stuff like that online, and I had quite a few good ideas, but I was just a little bit lazy, I'll be honest, and focused on doing other things. Right before the end of the year, before I went on my work break, I've had 2 weeks off of work, and that has been lovely, but right before the break, it was so busy, and for a while, I was pretty much the only person working at my job, which was a little bit stressful, but when I finally had my break, I took the chance to get ready for Christmas, obviously. On that front, Christmas was really nice. I spent time with my family, with Brennan's family, and our little family, obviously. So, in case you haven't seen me before, I am married and I've got 2 dogs. Quentin and Macy, they are Kelpies, and I love them a lot. They feature on the channel a fair bit, and you would have seen them in the clip this morning. Now, just in case anyone cares, I don't know if you do, I am crumbing these with flour, like I said, with one hand, and then wet hand to go into the soy milk. You would normally use egg if you weren't doing this vegan, or if for some reason, maybe you're allergic to egg, you could still use milk or soy milk. And then I'm coating again with my dry hand that I use the flour in for the breadcrumb. But yeah, Christmas was nice, and of course having a break. I still wanted to share things throughout my time off. In fact, during the 2 weeks, I had really wanted to do quite a few videos, but again, I just got into what I was doing, and each day didn't feel like picking up my camera, but then the mood struck me today to do this. And again, I'm not sure if I mentioned, please forgive the fact I'm rusty talking here, but I am on my last day of break today. So back to work tomorrow, which is kind of what I'm prepping for today, just making a big meal. I might pre-prep some breakfast, and earlier I did my eyelashes. Now, apart from Christmas stuff, in my time off, I have spent a lot of time at home. I really haven't done that many activities out of the house for a few reasons. I had a huge to-do list of stuff that I wanted to do in this time off, like organizing my spare room. I've got a room that is basically just my wardrobe, makeup, clothes, accessories, tech stuff, everything that is just my stuff to keep out of the way. And it was a bit of a nightmare. I had things everywhere, it wasn't organized, and all of my drawers for clothes were overflowing. So I did sort that out. I've got some stuff to donate, some stuff that does need to be sort of like thrown away, you know, shoes that I don't even think charity would want, and just clutter really. So that's sorted. That is a big thing that is crossed off the to-do list. I am also a little bit behind on eBay stuff. I think I've mentioned before how I am working through selling a lot of clothes that I actually used to love when I wore more vintage and vintage reproduction pin-up style clothing, but I'm not into it anymore. I did like it at the time, but I think now I definitely dress more plain, and truth be told, I pretty much wear pajamas, workout clothes, or like rotate through the same few outfits, like normally comprised of a mini dress and cowboy boots. That is kind of like my everyday uniform, if you will, for free dress. I have a work uniform, but do you know what I mean? For cartoon characters or like people with a capsule wardrobe, I want to say, you have a uniform. That's what I mean. Knowing that my wardrobe is more organized, I'll at least be able to get back into eBay a little bit in the new year. And I think the next priority that I've had has been reading. I finished my reading goal for 2023 and finished at 52 books. It was quite achievable, so this year I'm actually going to be reading more. And I'm not going to talk too much about this now, since the next video that I do, I will be talking more about the reading. I'm going to be reading 75 books this year. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that number or more. I put a little poll out on Instagram and everyone said, well, majority of people said 75, which now that I think about it, it's probably best to do that. And then if I hit this goal, I can do more next year. But that basically means I need to read 1.5 books a week. I am not too concerned, but it'll still be a good challenge. I track this on Goodreads, by the way. I know some people use Goodreads, or I think I've seen Storygraph is another one, which I do use a little bit, but I'm not very good at. I mainly use Goodreads, so I'll link that down below as well in case anyone wants to see. But for the most part, when I read and review my books, I also do my recap, which I think I did 4 of last year or 3. I mentioned just a moment ago how I'm going to do a video about reading soon, and that'll be my recent recaps again from the end of last year, and also talking about, I think, my top books of 2023. But yeah, all that information is on Goodreads as well. I just like to do a video too. And reading will definitely be a big priority for me in this coming year. I got Kindle Unlimited in this time off, and I've already read a few books on there end of last year and this year, so that's been good. But again, I'm going to rein it in and contain more of the reading stuff in a purely reading related video. I'm trying to make fast work with this since I don't want them to fall apart, which I think they can do since it's pretty hot. And this is going to be my lunch and dinner, which I may have said. Since it's so hot today as well, I think the plan is to take the dogs swimming, and obviously I'll be swimming too. Just going for a visit to the in-laws since they've got a lovely pool and we all want to cool off. I've been spending a fair bit of time off there during my time, and that's going to be a must today. I think it's only going to be 30 degrees, but yeah, it's not fun. I think the only last thing I'll mention while I'm cooking or preparing these before I fry them up is some movies that I've watched lately that I really enjoyed. One of which I went to the movies to see, and I don't go to the movies all that often, just for ones that I'm really excited for, and the movie was a rom-com. I watched Anyone But You. Hear me say I loved this movie and then nearly didn't remember the name, but it's got Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, and it's actually set in Australia for most of it, which is part of the reason why I loved it, but I think both of those actors are great. I loved Glenn Powell since Scream Queens, which was an amazing show. I really need to rewatch it, but I would heavily recommend that if you haven't seen it before. was so campy and fun. And I like Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria. Took me a second to think there. But they're good actors. It was a cute premise, and honestly, I haven't enjoyed a rom-com that much in the longest time. I finished watching it and said to my sister that I think it's the best modern rom-com, probably since like maybe How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I don't know, but again, something I would recommend if you haven't seen yet, since it is kind of new still. I may even go back to the cinema to see it since I enjoyed it so much. And another movie, actually, that also had a Euphoria star in, Saltburn. Now, I think that one came out at the movies, and I watched it on Prime since it came out on Prime somewhat recently. But a lot of people are talking about that, how weird it is, and it is a bit weird. Definitely got a lot of fucked up scenes, but I like that. I found it interesting, and I've been thinking about it a lot since. I will say, having you to chat to at least makes this go by a little bit quicker. I'm over halfway with these. It definitely looks awkward doing the two different hands, but it's really important. That way this one doesn't end up gluey. What I'm trying to say is keep one hand dry and keep one hand wet. Whenever you're doing crumbing, it's just common sense and very important when cooking. Maybe if you don't do stuff like this often, you wouldn't know. If anyone watching wants to let me know as well how your Christmas or New Year's was, I'd really like to know how you spent it. I didn't even mention New Year's since it was such a non-event for me. But yeah, let me know how your Christmas and New Year's was. I am curious, especially since everyone celebrates very differently throughout the world and even the country, I guess. I know for myself, I feel very lucky that I have time off since that hasn't always been the case. I have worked retail and hospitality majority of my working life, and normally over this time of year, it actually really has been pretty dreadful to work in retail and not look forward to going back the next day for Boxing Day, being busy and things like that. But this year and last year, I have been very lucky to have time off, so can't complain. Okay, I nearly forgot. Something else that I watched recently and really loved was the Eras Tour. Didn't see it in person. I obviously watched it at home, the release on Prime, and I was obsessed. I will admit I am a recently converted Swiftie. I mean, I don't know, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Her music is very catchy and I've thought so for the longest time, but I think because of my age, like, I mean, I'm about her age, but when I was in high school, I remember she had massive hate against her from people I was in high school with. I know people sometimes still sort of make fun of her, but she's so popular. Like, everybody loves her, I feel, and the hate is less, but I still have that mentality. Not that I hated her music or hated her, but I was maybe just a little bit ashamed to admit that I liked her music, and I've listened to it so much more this year, or 2023, and she was my top artist that I listened to for the year. So I think that says something, especially since I'm pretty sure I really only got into listening to her a lot in about June. And yeah, now I'm a big fan. Loved the concert, even watching it at home. And if she ever comes to Brisbane, I will probably try and get her tickets. But when she comes to Australia, she's only going to Sydney and Melbourne, and I can't be asked travelling for anyone. So that's that. But now with that, I'm done making these, and I am so glad because I just want to eat. I'm hungry. It is 12:30. Alright, we're done. I'm going to clean up and start frying these and then show you when I'm done. How did the judges score? I think they turned out pretty well. Again, I am not a pro cook. This is not authentic arancini or anything, but I think it tastes pretty good. I have had a few of these while I was cooking, you know, for quality control purposes, but I'm gonna have one more now. I just wanted to show you. Some of them are hotter than others since I've done 2 batches. I think they're pretty good. That's a hot one. I think what I'll do with the rest of these tonight is cook them up in the air fryer or oven just to keep them crisp and make some sort of sauce to go with them. Obviously I didn't do that today, but I was so hungry and I still really enjoyed. So I'm just gonna finish this last little one and then pack up and get changed since I am covered in oil and flour. Also, I'm not doing dry January, but I thought I'd show you this. I have had quite a few alcoholic-free beers in the past, and Bran bought these just recently. These are the best I've ever had. I feel like it's a nice can too. Something about it kind of, I mean, it's the color in the circle, but it reminds me of Sol de Janeiro. But anyway, the flavor is really nice. Hiatus Beers Pacific Ale. It is really nice, sort of pale ale flavor. I wouldn't even be able to guess that it's alcohol free. We're just trying to have a few less alcoholic drinks, and I still like the taste of beer, so this is actually a really good alternative. I just thought I'd mention in case anyone sees these. I think they are really good. Alright, I've just come outside since it's a lot cooler out here, and I've got my Kindle. I wanted to read for a little bit. I started this book yesterday and I really am loving it so far. I'm 3/4 of the way through, and I think it may even be a 5-star, which is good. Nice start to the year. This is the second book I've read. It is called Run on Red, that's the title, by Noelle W. Ely. I'm not sure how to say her name, but it is a really fast-paced thriller. A little bit of a summary. I know you can sort of see the cover there, but I'll put it up since you'll be able to see the color of the cover. It's about two girls who are traveling in a car one night, and someone starts to follow them and basically chase them down. That's the summary on the back of the book, more or less. And again, it's so fast-paced, really short chapters, a nice quick read, and I think I'm going to finish it this afternoon. I will see if I can get it finished before we head out to the pool, but if not, I will definitely finish it today. I also thought I'd show you, I have changed my Kindle up. I used to have a sort of book cover, like wallet case, and I still have it, but I've actually got some like teriyaki sauce on it or something, and now I can't get that smell out, so I had to put this clear one on, and I've got some stickers and a pop socket, just like a lot of people tend to do, but all these stickers were from Amazon. It's cute, easy to change since I didn't actually stick the stickers down, I just put them inside the case, but I've seen a lot of people do that, so I flat out copied, and I think it looks really nice. A lot harder to lose as well since it's not plain black anymore. So I'm just going to get back to my book and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, I wanted to check in. I had finished Run on Red and I loved this. It was definitely 5 stars in my opinion. Very fast paced, on the shorter end as well, so really easy, quick read. It was like 270 pages, and I think I want to see others by this author as well. I hadn't heard of her before. This was on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm so glad I picked this up. Definitely a good start to the year, and a big recommend. But now that that is done, I am going to grab a towel, get into my bikini, and head to the pool because it is 30 degrees. It is pretty hot, and I need to cool down. So I'm going to gather my things and the dogs, and we're going to go for a swim. Queen, jump! Alright, so we're back from the pool. I got home a little while ago and washed my hair. I actually didn't get much footage swimming or, you know, playing around with the dogs because I left both my camera and my phone at home. I think I got like a clip or two of the dogs, maybe even just Quentin in the pool on Bren's phone, but much like the past couple months, I've kind of just been living in the moment. We had a nice swim for a couple hours and have come home. Like I said, I washed my hair, which I did need to do, you know, this morning even, but I figured since I would be swimming in the afternoon, didn't want to do it twice. What I'm going to do since I have a bit of free time now is play some Hello Kitty Island Adventure. If I was a big channel, this is where they would do some sort of sponsorship, wouldn't they? But obviously I'm nobody. This is just something I have. I know that a lot of people probably already use Apple Arcade or have heard about it. I hadn't looked into it too much other than knowing that Hello Kitty Island Adventure was on there. I nearly forgot the name, but it is a pretty cute game, very similar to Animal Crossing. I'm very surprised though, it is quite in depth for a phone game, and yeah, I love playing it. I have the free trial from when I got my iPhone, so I think it was 3 months. I'm not going to be paying for it myself. When the trial ends, I'll be done which is why I'm trying to finish this game or get to a point where it's not as fun anymore. And I think 3 months is a pretty good time for that. But I'm just going to be playing and relaxing for a little bit before I get dinner freshened up. I'm going to leave the screen recording there and check in again when I do something a little bit more exciting, but I'll still play for a little bit.
Okay, so I spent a little bit of time pre-prepping my breakfast for the week, this kale and apple smoothie. I'll have the recipe down below, but I like to make this so I start out my day with something healthy and it's just easy to grab each morning before work.
While I was making my green juice, my sous chef made this marinara sauce to go with the risotto and also just some veggies, so I'm going to start eating. Right, I'm just getting ready for bed now. I realised I didn't mention, but earlier after dinner, but before now, me getting ready for bed, we watched Creep 2 since we watched the first one last night. I've seen it many times before and really loved the first one and made Brennan watch it for the first time. We both watched the second one tonight and I feel like it was so-so. It was still kind of funny and a little bit uncomfortable to watch, but nowhere near as good as the first. Anyway, I have brushed my teeth and I'm going to do my mask and bring in my moisturizer, I guess. I'll just grab something and set up in the room, ready to go to bed and basically ready for another day at work, back tomorrow or first day back in 2 weeks time. So let's go and do that.
Okay, so I'm all ready for bed and I remembered after reading the book, it did mention that there was an extra chapter kind of following up about a certain character. So I'm just going to read that before I go to sleep. Thanks for watching though, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Good night. I'll follow only golden.